What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. As you can see behind me, we have the Speed 6's engine out. This is literally seconds after we just finished filming the last episode. But in order for me to get this in the garage and get it closed for the night before I continue breaking down, I need to try to get the trans and the transfer case off so that I have a smaller footprint of a motor that I could get into the tire without having to finagle a bunch of stuff. Maybe if I can get it all in the tire now and just start tomorrow or the next day, it'd be perfect. But we're gonna be breaking down a lot of stuff on this episode, basically the whole motor, all the accessories, everything that you see, breaking down and getting the head off so we can get that over to the machine shop, because they are going to be cleaning, decking, and resealing the head and checking over everything to make sure it's good to go, because that is going to be going on our brand new Speed Performance short block, and that is loaded with all the goods to handle a lot of power. So definitely stay tuned, and we'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, transfer case out. I will be breaking this open just to check over everything. I do have another transfer case that only has 10,000 miles on it, so I'm probably going to take the billet caps from this and transfer it over to the other transfer case, because yeah, it's super low miles. I think this has like 100 something on it, so probably take this one apart, see if there's any damage inside. But yeah, now I'm going to get the trans off so that it's just the motor on the hoist. That way I can easily package it into the garage a little bit better. I'm a little tight on space right now, so I'm gonna take the trans off real quick and yeah, separate that from the motor. Guys, it's getting kind of dark, but I got the trans separated. It is a fight to do it by yourself. I'm worked. I need to get this on a different part of the garage, get the transfer case put away, and then I'm going to drop this engine onto this tire, clean up my mess, and we'll catch you guys probably tomorrow. All right, guys, next day we got the clutch off, which the clutch is in pretty good shape. Now, the story behind this clutch is that this is a spec clutch that my buddy Jake had taken over to a clutch shop, and they actually rebuilt this clutch with upgraded pads and all that stuff on this disc. It's still got some life left in it, and this was actually bench tested for about 600 and something foot-pounds of torque. Definitely not going back in the car. We're gonna have to go with a twin disc, but this I'm going to probably take to get redone, because this thing's still in really good shape. So we have that going on. So basically got the motor on the engine stand. I'm going to start breaking everything down now that it's on here. It'll be real easy to do. Got the garage floor kind of cleaned up and everything opened up in the engine bay. I'm going to sort this all out. I got some tools to pick up in the garage to organize, but we're going to start breaking this down. It's going to be really easy. So basically manifold, alternator on the back side, and then start going over the side, high pressure fuel pump, water neck, outlet, JMF, AC, power steering, oil filter housing, and fuel rail, and the little things here and there, and we'll be ready to start pulling the head and all that stuff off of here, and get that over to the machine shop to have it cleaned up, and then we'll start digging into the bottom end. So definitely stay tuned, because we're gonna have a lot to look at here and go from there. Yeah, be a fun time. So discovery number one had a lot of oil on the gasket for the exhaust manifold. Now, I don't know if it was coming up from or down from the valve cover. The valve cover gasket's kind of blown out, but yeah, that's a lot of fresh oil on there. Head gasket looks good, so that's promising. Maybe the bottom end is okay. Maybe all this oil. Oh yeah, the whole exhaust port is dried oil. So what that tells me is maybe a valve guide or seal is shot. That's kind of promising, dude. Like, if it's just the head that needs to be resealed, that could possibly be really good news. I don't know. The rod knock is still worrying me though, so. And who knows if it was rod knock. Might have been the valve train or something. Who knows? Here we go. Okay, getting a little dark, but we got a lot of stuff off. That's all bare. Backside's all bare minus the drain line. The only thing left really on the head is the fuel rail, high pressure fuel pump assembly, and then I'll pop the valve cover and get to yanking the head off. Oh, and the PCV plate. But I'm about to get that all off right now and see what we got. Well guys, we got quite a bit done, and I want to show you guys where we're at right now. We have everything off. All the timing components are off. The chains, guides, tensioner, all that stuff. I have the exhaust cam off, and I'm just working on getting the intake side off, because we got our head studs down there, our ARP studs. That's the only thing I got to do to take off the head is the studs. So what I'm going to do, just to minimize, you know, misplacing the caps or anything like that, I'm going to do one side and then the other, so I don't lose them, so I can just put them right back on for when the head goes to the machine shop. So we don't have much left. I do got to take like the drain line off. I just haven't. It's not really in the way, so take those off in a second, and then the head will be ready to come off, and I'm interested to see what's below. I do think, after, you know, kind of thinking about it from earlier in the video, how I was saying the bottom end might be okay. Now the bottom end is 100% not okay, because here's the thing. This much oil wouldn't be coming through every cylinder. I think it's the piston rings that are jacked up, and if you remember from when the engine just cut off in my garage, like it sounded like a knock, and then the engine locked up and it shut off. Well, when I was going to take the crank pulley off, I had a, you know, socket wrench on the crank pulley, and I just went to go move it to see if the crank would turn, and it was 100% locked up. I was able to break loose the crank pulley bolt without even countering the spin of the crank pulley, if that makes sense. I was able to just crack it loose. The crank didn't turn at all. So definitely probably going to see some carnage in there if I had to guess. So I'm interested to pop this off and then flip this thing over and take the oil pan off and kind of investigate. But for now, just need to get the head studs out, and we'll be able to pop this head loose and see what we got going on. See, most people that watch these videos think I know everything there is to know about these, which is 100% not the case. I've only learned from trial and error of my own stuff and questions that I've asked, you know, the real pros and the guys that have been around this platform a lot longer than I have. So I've never actually assembled one of these motors before. So we're all going to learn together with stuff that I've, you know, figured out and researched over the years. I just never really had to build my own motor. But all the head studs, head stud nuts are loose, and I'm getting ready to pop the head off. It was a little bit tricky. I don't know if there's a specific socket that ARP sells to do it, but it seems like the wall around where you'd stick a socket in here is like maybe too narrow. But I had a heck of a time getting some of the nuts to line up with the socket. I ended up getting them, but yeah, I'm just excited to pull the head off here. We're gonna do that in a second once I get someone to help me film and or hold the camera, but I want to make sure it's good to go. I can see oil kind of seeping out already. See some movement right there? Yeah, head's about to come off, but I want to make sure you guys get a full view of it and see anything that's under there the same time I do, just so you can see what's going on. So it's pretty cool, man. It's really not that hard. It's honestly nuts and bolts. I just make sure I organize everything, and you know, I'm interested to see the carnage. underneath. I don't think we're going to see much with the head pulled off, but I think we will see a lot more once we flip the engine over and start taking apart the bottom end. So, getting ready to pop this thing off. Got Dom here now, help out. And I think I got all the head stud nuts off, so this thing should just lift out. I'm going to push it in a little bit just in case it drips some oil. Ooh! Okay.
So far, nothing crazy.
Yeah, so I'm going to set this down real quick. All right, Vince, let me see that. All right, so at first look, our head gasket's on the head.
That's good.
But the pistons,
they look good. They don't look bad.
Really good. They do look really good. They're very oily. There's no doubt about it. We have an oil issue going on. But I don't know. I'll flip the head over in a second. I just want to put the cams back on so the tappets don't all fall out and stuff. But from first look, there's no strike marks from valves or anything on here. It doesn't look like we had burned up anything. Let me wipe this down. It doesn't look like we have any heat marks. But I told you, the crank is not spinning. Like, something definitely let loose on the bottom side, and I don't know if it was a bearing. And that's just, this is just the top view, so there could be a cracked ringland on the pistons.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot that could be hidden underneath. But from the top, everything looks pretty stout.
Right.
Pretty good so far. So definitely gonna have to, we'll pull the head studs out.
That one?
And no, it's just a little dirty. But yeah, I'm gonna put the cams on so I don't lose the caps and stuff, and just kind of hand tighten them down. And then we'll flip this head over and check out the valves and stuff like that and see what they look like.
Ready?
All right, here's the exhaust side. So this is cylinder 4, I believe. Yeah. And the head gasket looks like it's in pretty good shape. I don't see any burning through on anything. I mean, there's a lot of oil, don't get me wrong, but none of the valves look like they've hit or struck anything. Yeah, it's just very odd. I'm interested to see what the piston rings look like. I'm not going to disassemble any part of the head because I don't want to screw anything up. I don't have enough knowledge to take it apart and put it back together, so I'm just going to let the machine shop do it. Yes, I might take apart another head at one point just to learn, but this head should still be good. And as long as the seals are okay. Let's take this off here. Okay. This doesn't look terrible. I've never really seen I don't know if the amount of oil and stuff on the gasket is normal or not, but I don't see any burning, so that's good. Yeah, if you guys see anything I don't right now, let me know down in the comments. Got some coolant around the ring here. On that gasket, I can see a little bit of coolant, but nothing that looked like it was coming into the cylinder. I think it's just dripping off because I just pulled it away from the head, but yeah, interesting. Well, time to flip the bottom end over and see what we got. All right, so we're just popping the studs out right now and pulling these for when we pull or flip the bottom end over. I just want them out. It's probably gonna be a lot of oil and stuff that flies out. We'll see. I just taking my time,
right?
Because I want to make sure we don't miss anything. Like, I want to visually inspect everything we do, because who knows? I mean, there could be a crack somewhere. I don't know. Only time will tell.
Right. So far, so good though.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't look. I mean, minus a crap ton of oil.
Yeah, like everywhere.
Being all over the head and like the top of the pistons, like, and the way the car was smoking. Like,
yeah.
There's definitely something going on.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, there could be. I mean, just the fuel that washed down the cylinders. It could have been enough to take out the rings. So, I mean, like I said, we'll see. But gonna just slowly work at this here, and then we're gonna be flipping it over in a second and watch all the oil spill out everywhere. And coolant probably.
Oh yeah.
Mixture of both.
It's gonna be like impossible to catch too, because it's gonna be like every spot.
I know, I'm gonna like put 2 drain pans under it so I can like hopefully cut. I got cardboard too, so
Right.
should be good. But yeah, we're almost ready to flip it over. All right.
Moment of truth.
Pull in the oil pan. This thing had the same stuff they used to seal up SpaceX on it.
Coming off.
Let me know when.
Let's lower it down.
Oh God.
Oh,
Oh, she's so full. Pretty full.
I don't see any chunks yet.
Right.
Maybe under that wall.
Look up in there. All right, guys. The pan is off. I'm gonna drain this real quick. So, draining the pan here. Doesn't look terrible. Nothing catastrophic, it looks like. I don't know, man. This is definitely weird.
Yeah.
That maybe we caught something early, and you know, we got lucky. But it definitely has some kind of like metallic to it. Yeah, like nothing looks broken yet. I just don't know why the crank would have stopped spinning. Something got caught up. But I gotta flip this over. I have one of the bolts holding up the engine stand right here, so I'm gonna need to slide it so I can flip this thing over all the way. So just give us a second here. Okay.
Oh yeah, here we come. Oh, there it is.
Do it slow so that it just,
Trickle.
yeah, so it trickles out for a minute.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh, now we're mixing.
Try to slide over a little bit more.
Ah.
Ugh.
All right, not terrible. I thought there was gonna be more. Oh.
All right, that's in. All right, so yeah, I really won't
Little
know.
mark right there.
Yeah, little mark. I don't really see.
I'm not seeing shaving.
Dude, there's not metal anywhere. I wonder, honestly. I don't know.
Like that's a little bit of a heat spot right there.
From what I can see right now, it looks okay, but like I said, it could be a bearing that completely just locked up. I don't know, man.
Want me to wipe this up?
No, not yet.
No, it's
I mean, dude, inside looks super clean.
It's like crazy.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna start disassembling the bottom end to figure out what the heck happened. Have to take the main bolts off. Have to take the main bolts off and get the cradle out, or just undo the rod caps and see if we can see anything in there. I don't know. Keep digging. This is a long video, and if you made it to this point, I appreciate you hanging on. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this video, but I really wanted to give you guys an in-depth look of what actually happened. And so far, like, I've literally found nothing major that's stuck out. Just very odd. There's something going on, and I just don't know what. Like, I can see the skirts of the pistons down there, and nothing seems broken as I can see. It's just weird, man. Super weird. But we're gonna have to pull the thing apart and just look over everything. Probably gonna get another piece of cardboard and lay out pieces and just kind of keep them in order. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I don't want to make this any longer because I know it's going to take some time. So there's definitely going to be a part 2 of the teardown and other stuff to come. But I've reached a stopping point for the night. I took the, I'm starting to take the stuff off on the bottom end for like the main studs and stuff like that. I really want to just take my time taking apart the bottom end and not worry about anything else, because I've never done that before. So I just want to kind of do it, but I'll get it on camera. Don't worry. I just don't want to make this video way too drawn out. But we got everything off. There's no carnage yet. The crank does not spin. I don't know what's going on, but if you know or have a hint of what you think it is, drop down below in the comments. But if you stayed this long, I appreciate it. Like I said, if you guys want some merch, head over to our merch store. The link's always in the description. Definitely help us out with builds like this, especially rebuilding. But give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. I know content's been slow, but it will pick back up now that we're rolling on this. So definitely stay tuned. But until next time, we will see you later.